Hello, Standard 9. Your Arun sir going to teach biology, chapter 12, skeleton, movement and locomotion, and it is part 3. It means already we have discussed about two parts. And what things we discussed? We discussed about the function of skeleton. We discussed that skeleton is made up of bones and cartilage. We discussed in detail about the bones. We discussed about the long bones and about the bone marrow, and in older people why it is difficult to rejoin the bones after fracture. We have also discussed about decalcified bone, means organic and inorganic component of bones. And while we will put the bone in a dilute hydrochloric acid, the inorganic part will dissolve and the bone will become very soft, so soft that we can tie a knot. We discussed about the periosteum. We discussed that two types of skeleton system is there. One is the axial skeleton and one is the appendicular. In axial, we discussed that skull and the vertebral column. Skull, as I have told you, made up of 8 bones. Face is made up of 14 bones. About the foramen magnum, the upper and lower mandible, means lower jaw, we have discussed. And we have also discussed about the vertebral column, that this vertebra is made up of 33 bones, and when fused only 26 are visible. And we have discussed that these are grouped under 5 categories. The neck bone, that is called cervical bone, which is 7 in number. Then the thoracic bone, which is 12 in number. 5 lumbar, 5 sacrum. Sacrum, 5 is fused to become 1. And coccyx, the last part of the backbone, that is 4 and is fused to become 1. We have also discussed that our backbone is not straight, it is curved. And why it is curved? It is a give reason question that may be asked. And we were discussing about the structure of a vertebra. Vertebra is the singular and vertebrae is plural. So vertebra, and we have discussed that 7 bones are there in cervical. First bone is the atlas, then axis, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 has no special name. Means other 5 bones of the cervical vertebra, neck bone, no special name is there. And let me show you a diagram of a thoracic vertebrae. See here, this is the diagram of thoracic vertebrae. Okay, this solid part is called as body or centrum. And 12 such type of bones are there. 12 thoracic bones are there. They are fixed one over other. And this one is the rib facet. Facet means here the rib bones are attached. Facet means the place where the bones are attached. So rib bones are attached here and here. You can see these two. This is transverse process. This is neural spine, and here one canal is there, and that canal is the neural canal. And through this neural canal only one thread, one cord runs from brain to coccyx. And through the foramen magnum, that spinal cord runs. Okay, and this is the articulate facet. Neural arc means such type of diagram may be given, not to draw, diagram related question may be asked related to thoracic vertebra. Now coming this side, see here, this is the diagram of atlas, means first bone of the cervical. First neck bone is the atlas, next one is the axis. You can see what is there in the atlas. Neural spine is there, transverse process, ligament. This one is the ligament. This part is the ligament, and you know ligament connects bone to bone. And this is anterior facet, and this one is the neural arc. So this is the diagram showing atlas. So we have understood about these 5 types of bone: cervical, thoracic, lumbar, sacrum and coccyx. Now coming to this bone, between the chest, one straight bone is there, and that straight bone is known as breastbone or the sternum. What that is called? Breastbone or the sternum. And all the rib bones are attached to this directly or indirectly. Now listen, there are 12 pairs of ribs, okay, and except last 2 pair, means 10 pairs are directly or indirectly attached to the breastbone or the sternum. So from 1 to 7 they are directly attached. They are called as true ribs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They are directly attached to the breastbone or the sternum, and they are called true ribs. And what about 7, 8, 9, 10? 8, 9, 10. They are attached to the 7th one. And how they are attached? They are attached by haline cartilage. Okay. And the last 2 bone, 11 and 12, they are not attached to the breastbone. Okay. Only coming out from the backbone and are not attached to the breastbone. They are called floating ribs. Very clear? They are called as floating ribs. Here, they too are there, and their function is to protect the abdominal part and also the kidney from backside, because the location of kidney is here. So that part is clear. And between 2 bones, gristle, 2 vertebral bone, gristle or invertebral disc is present. That part is clear. Now, axial part. In axial part we have discussed skull, face and the backbone. Now let us come to the appendicular part, means which is attached to the axial part, that we have to discuss. And first thing which we have to discuss, that is about the hand and legs. They are the limbs, forelimb and hind limb. Okay. So let us start our discussion with the forelimbs, means hand. One long bone is there here, just after the shoulder. That long bone is called as humerus. This bone is called as humerus, single long bone. And here 2 bones are there. 2 parallel bones are there, and those 2 parallel bones are radius and ulna. Radius is towards the thumb side. It is thicker and stronger comparing to ulna. So radius and ulna are 2 bones after the this humerus. And now wrist bone. 8 bones are there in the wrist, and these 8 bones are called as carpal. Now coming to the palm, this part, palm. Palm has 5 bones, and they are called as metacarpal. And 14, if you will count, 14 bones are there in our finger, 2 in the thumb and 3 in each finger. So 4 3 is a 12 and 2 14. 14 bones are there in the finger and they are called as metacarpal. So humerus, radius ulna, carpal, metacarpal and phalanges. Understood or not? And we will count the number of bones, that how many bones are there in our hand. Very clear? Coming to the leg, thigh bone, the longest and the strongest bone of our body. If ear bone is the shortest, smallest, the longest and strongest bone in our body is the thigh bone and it is called as femur. And after thigh again 2 bones are there. Those 2 bones are called as tibia and fibula. Tibia and fibula. And here after radius and ulna, carpal was there. In ankle, tarsal is there. After carpal, metacarpal. Thereafter tarsal, metatarsal and phalanges. So for odd one out, these questions are very important. What I may do? I may write humerus, radius ulna and tarsal. Tarsal will be odd because the other belongs to the forelimb, parts of forelimb. And one more extra bone is there and that is covering of the knee in leg. That bone is known as patella or kneecap. So this part is clear. Once more about the leg, the longest bone, femur, then tibia and fibula, tarsal, metatarsal and phalanges. And one kneecap or the patella is there in the leg or hind limb. Now this part is clear. We have understood about the limbs, where these limbs are attached to the axial skeleton. But how they are attached? Shoulder, here you can see our shoulder girdle is there. 2 shoulder girdle and 1 hip girdle. And shoulder girdle is triangular in shape and called as scapula. And this triangular shape scapula, one cavity is there, and in that cavity only this humerus is fixed, and the name of that cavity is glenoid cavity. What is the name of that cavity? Glenoid cavity. Very clear? And 2 collar bones arise from scapula and are attached to the upper part of the breastbone or this sternum. So this part is clear. And now coming to the hip girdle. Other name of shoulder girdle is the pectoral girdle and other name of hip girdle is the pelvic girdle. 2 hip bones are there. We have got 2 hips and 2 hip bones are there. And between 2 hip bones, coccyx is there. Okay, the last part of the backbone, coccyx, between the 2 hip bones. And parts of hip bones are ilium, this ischium and acetibulum. And sacrum and coccyx are the part of backbone. Sacrum and coccyx, pubis, ilium, ischium are the part of hip bones. In hip bone, where this leg or the femur is attached, also it is attached in a cavity, and the name of that cavity is glenoid cavity. No, here is the glenoid cavity. There it is acetabulum. Acetabulum. Very clear? So, difference between acetabulum and glenoid cavity is asked. Glenoid cavity is present in shoulder girdle. Glenoid cavity helps to articulate the limbs humerus, and this acetabulum helps to articulate femur. That part is clear. Now, what is the difference between the male and female skeleton? The male skeleton is heavier and stronger. The male skeleton is generally stronger and heavier. But the female hip girdle or the pelvic girdle is wider. The female pelvic girdle or hip girdle is wider. Now, due to wider pelvic girdle or hip girdle, the females have wider hips comparing to males. Now, why the hip girdle is wider in female, not in male? If female, they have to accommodate the fetus during the pregnancy. We are in our mother's womb, so space must be there. To make a space, the hip girdle or the pelvic girdle is wider so that the fetus, means unborn baby, may remain inside the mother's womb. So that part is clear. So give reason question. We have understood why the pelvic girdle or the hip girdle is wider in females comparing to the males. We have understood. Now, today up to this much. In the next video, we will discuss about the joints and I will show you the skeleton also. But don't forget, before beginning of the class, I will ask question and continuously who will not reply, I will remove their name from the group. Thank you very much.